We are so excited you'd like to join us in advocating for the Girl Scouts bill at the Minnesota State Capitol. Follow us through this training and you'll know exactly what to do when you sit down with your legislator to advocate for girls and Girl Scouts in Minnesota. Throughout our history, Girl Scouts have never found a problem too big to address. The 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote in 1920. It's hard to believe that was less than 100 years ago. But getting the vote was just one hurdle. Getting to the polls is another. Racism and sexism continued to prevent women from voting, so throughout the decades following the ratification of the 19th Amendment, Girl Scouts aided women by taking care of their children on election days and continued to fight for voting rights so that all could access the vote. In the 1940s, during World War II, Girl Scouts assisted in food production and conservation, helping farmers harvest the crops during wartime when there was a shortage of workers. Girl Scouts also cultivated victory gardens to help supply food during the war, sold war bonds, and collected 1.5 million items of clothing for war refugees. In 1942, they logged an impressive 48,068 hours working on farms. In the 1960s, Girl Scouts were actively involved in the civil rights movement. They held speakouts to discuss ways to eliminate prejudice and launched a nationwide effort named Action 70 to help build better relationships among people regardless of race, religion, age, or nationality. Inclusivity has been a big part of the Girl Scout DNA since the beginning. Girls of color were part of the 3rd U.S. Troop formed in New Bedford, Massachusetts in 1913. A troop for girls with disabilities was founded in 1917. By 1951, there were more than 1,500 racially integrated troops across the country and more than 1,800 African American troops, most of them located in the South. In the 1970s, Girl Scouts fought for environmental projects by launching national eco-action projects. Most recently, right here in our area, girls are working on Gold Award projects like creating a pollinator garden, designing a school garden to encourage healthy eating and an outdoor science curriculum, and promoting trail cleanup projects. Every day, girls look around the world, learn about problems, and address them head on. How are you taking action in your community right now? By participating in the training and preparing to advocate for girls at the state capitol, you are joining a long legacy of powerful young women working to make our world a better place. Today, we need your help to be able to pass the Girl Scout bill at the Minnesota State Legislature. That's right, we have a bill. It's officially known as Senate File 400 in the Senate and House File 292 in the House, but we like to call it the Girl Scout bill. The bill asks for $1.4 million to support Girl Scouts Connects and similar outreach programming. Right now, Girl Scouts Connects brings leadership programming to over 2,700 girls throughout the River Valleys Council who might not otherwise access Girl Scouts. Our sister councils Dakota Horizons serves 128 girls, and Lakes and Pines serves 674 girls with similar programming. You'll get to hear more about these programs in a little bit, but let's first take a minute to talk about how a bill becomes a law.
We have 3 levels of government where laws are made. The federal level, this includes work in Washington, D.C. that involves the president and U.S. senators and representatives. The state level, this includes work of our governors and state senators and representatives. And the local level, this includes work happening at a city or county level that could include the mayor, city council, county commissioners, school boards, and park boards. Today, we're going to focus on state level advocacy. You each have a state senator and representative, and they work at the Capitol in downtown St. Paul. It's their job to represent you in our state government by passing laws and deciding how our budget will be spent. Let's talk a little bit more about how a bill becomes a law.
The first step to passing a bill is that someone needs to think of an idea. Sometimes it's organizations like Girl Scouts who come up with the idea, or it's a group of regular people, or sometimes it's legislators. People with an idea for legislation can be called advocates. In the case of the Girl Scout bill, Girl Scouts River Valleys thought of the need for this legislation and found legislators to serve as authors. Once we were happy with the draft of the bill, it was jacketed or finalized and placed in the hopper. This is a place where bills go while they're waiting to be introduced.
The next step is that a version of our bill is introduced into both the Senate and the House, where it will get assigned to a Senate and House committee. This is a chance for a small group of legislators to study the bill and make sure that it's ready to be passed along to the full body of legislators. In 2017, the Girl Scout bill made it to this point and had a hearing, sort of like a presentation, in the Senate Education, Finance, and Policy Committee. The next step is for the bill to move to a final vote in the Senate and the House. Unfortunately, the Girl Scouts bill didn't move on to this step last year.
We were very disappointed, but we're back. A lot of times when we don't accomplish something like we had hoped, it's easy to feel bad about ourselves. However, we know that failure is an important step in learning and growing. Not passing our bill last year gave us an opportunity to think bigger about our advocacy. This year, we've expanded our bill to include more girls, adding in programming from 2 additional councils in Minnesota. It's common for bills to take several years to pass, and this gives us a chance to refine our bill and make it even better.
So, we started again this year by getting chief authors Senator Rude and Representative Kunesh-Podine and getting our bill placed in the hopper. Then it was introduced to both bodies, the Senate and the House. Next, we'll have committee hearings, and with your help, we'll be able to pass our bill on to a final vote. After the legislature approves our bill, Governor Walz will sign it and make it official law. Since every legislator will eventually cast a vote on our bill, they all need to hear from us about why we need this bill.
Hello, I'm Representative Kunesh-Podine, and I'm one of the lead authors on the Girl Scouts bill. I'm choosing to sponsor this bill because I believe it's important for girls who wouldn't otherwise have access to the great world of Girl Scouting to be able to be part of the Girl Scout experience, and this bill would make it happen. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn more about advocacy and making plans to visit your legislators. It's so important for us to hear what Minnesotans have to say about the issues that you are passionate about. We need more girls and more women advocating and leading in our democracy because you and your peers are the future of this state. So it's important that you're helping to inform and shape the decisions that are being made about this state. Thank you for being an active member of our community.
So what is the Girl Scout bill for? It's to make it easier for any girl to be a Girl Scout. We all know that there are different ways to be a Girl Scout. Some girls attend events and camp, other girls participate in troops led by volunteers, and some girls participate in troops led by staff called Girl Scouts Connects. There are also some girls who participate on their own, known as a Juliet. But regardless of how you participate, all Girl Scouts focus on exploring STEM, developing critical life skills, exploring the outdoors, and building business and money skills called entrepreneurship.
Our bill requests funding for the Girl Scout Connects program because our staff-led and partner model helps reduce barriers to participation so as many girls as possible can be Girl Scouts. Like Girl Scouts everywhere, Girl Scouts in Connects have troop meetings, sell cookies, go on camping adventures, and participate in STEM events.
They focus on girl leadership experiences like exploring cultural identity, and they can also spend time figuring out what type of career they might like by going to college tours and career events. They use the Discover, Connect, and Take Action steps to learn and lead in their communities.
We need each of you to meet with your legislator and tell them about this important bill and ask for their support. Legislators rely on your expertise to help them make decisions of what to support. We're going to break this down for you so you'll know exactly how to become an advocacy rock star. To find your legislator, you can go to the website on your screen and pop in your home address or call 651-296-2146 and someone from the legislature will help you identify who your legislators are. Don't forget that this is state legislation, so be sure to identify your state representative and state senator. After identifying your legislators, the next step is to set up a meeting. To find their office information, look them up on the website listed on your screen. You can simply call their office and ask for a meeting. Their legislative assistant will help you set it up. The meeting will likely be 15 minutes or less if it's held during session due to the busy schedule legislators have. At certain points of the year, you may have to schedule fairly far in advance. When scheduling your meeting, make sure to identify yourself as a constituent, meaning you live in the legislator's district, and say that you want to discuss the Girl Scout bill, or SF 400 or HF 292.
Once your meeting is booked, you should spend a little time preparing what you will say. If you're meeting in a bigger group, you each should choose a role that you will play during the meeting. Let's go over what a meeting should look like and the role that each part plays in the meeting. The introducer allows everyone to briefly introduce themselves and then gives the reason and purpose behind your visit. The storyteller shares their story about how Girl Scouts has impacted them and connects that experience to the importance of our bill. The asker briefly explains the Girl Scout bill and asks for the support of the legislator. The thanker leaves behind the Girl Scout information sheet, says thank you, and asks to take a photo with the group. The note taker will write down any important questions or feedback from your legislator. They will also make sure this information gets included on your meeting evaluation. The adult helps keep the meeting on track and provides any support that's needed. If you have a smaller group or are meeting with your legislator as an individual, you can play more than one role. When sharing your Girl Scout story with your legislator, be sure to keep it short and clear. Facts are always helpful, but powerful stories are the most effective way to move your legislator to act. Depending on the size of your group, likely only 1 or 2 girls will have the chance to share their story. Let's listen to examples from our 2 2019 Young Women of Distinction about their Girl Scout story.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline Swain and I'm in a Girl Scout Connect Troop at Park Center High School in Broken Center. I was born and raised in Liberia and I immigrated to the state when I was 12 years old. I joined Girl Scout when I was a sophomore in high school, and now Girl Scout has opened the door for me to experience so many different opportunities, from travel to career and college exploration, and best of all, experiencing sisterhood. My Connect Troop is made up of service Liberian girls, which have helped me find a common group of friends. Our troop participated in a cultural activity where we brought drum rolls and balls to play our favorite childhood games. Being surrounded by girls like me make me feel at home. This experience has helped me feel a strong sense of connection and sisterhood. Girl Scout is a place that helps girls empower themselves to be their best and has taught me that I can let my voice be heard. I can do anything I set my mind to, and I'm free to express my feelings and say what's on my mind, all in a safe place. My hope is that all girls, regardless of background, race, and age, will get the opportunity, just as I have, to explore their personal interests, go on college tours, get the chance to volunteer and support their communities and be themselves at Girl Scout. There is this African saying, when you educate a man, you educate an individual, but when you educate a woman, you educate a whole generation. I am the new generation and I speak before you as a statement of how my Girl Scout experience has shaped me, and that when you give girls the opportunity to learn, grow, and be them true self, that community will prosper.
Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Neal and I am one of the 2 Young Women of Distinction for 2019. I have been a Girl Scout since kindergarten. I know you all have your stories about how being a Girl Scout has made a difference in your life, and I want to tell you how it has changed my life too. When I was in a serious ski accident, Girl Scouts helped me find my voice. In 2017, I suffered from a traumatic brain injury, which left me hospitalized for 6 weeks, unable to walk or talk. I'm a varsity cross-country runner and an extrovert, and I felt like an alien in my own body because I wasn't exactly who I used to be. After my recovery, everything was pretty much normal, except my voice. I wasn't as loud as I usually am. Going to Girl Scout camp brought my loud voice back and allowed me to gain the confidence I needed to accept who I was. Every girl deserves to be able to find their voice, whether literally or not, because it leads to so many valuable skills in life. I learned goal setting, resilience, and the skills to keep pushing forward from my many years of Girl Scouts. Without Girl Scouts, I never would have found my safe space, the place to be who I truly am. Weird socks, hiking boots, zip-off pants, and love myself for who I became after my accident. In Girl Scouts, I found girls who are just like me, my own community of girls who wear my weird camping clothes. Girl Scouts taught me valuable leadership skills, and after my accident, reinforced those skills and made me more confident than ever. Every girl deserves an opportunity to be themselves and find their voice.
Okay, now it's time to craft your own. We've got some prompts to spark your ideas on the screen. Go ahead and pause the video now and work on crafting your own story.
You're almost ready for your meeting with your legislator. Let's go over a few final tips. Be sure to use the correct title when speaking to your legislator. Legislators can be really friendly and may want to chit-chat about all sorts of things. Don't let them get sidetracked. Remember, you're there to talk about the Girl Scout bill. Make sure to use the bill numbers, SF 400 and HF 292. If you're asked a question that you don't know the answer to, don't worry. Let the legislator know that a Girl Scout staff member will follow up with them with more information and let us know their question. Be sure to leave the Girl Scout Leave Behind resource, and you can get a link for this to download in the description of the video below. Many of you will have meetings in the State Office Building or the Minnesota Senate Building. You can see on the screen that both buildings are close to the Capitol. The Minnesota Senate Building, or MSB, is highlighted in orange, and the State Office Building, or SOB, is in purple. Be respectful, be brief, and say thank you, and have some fun. Okay, now let's see how this all gets put together.
Hi there, we're going to show you an example of a legislative meeting. My name is Shayna, and I am a Girl Scout staff member. For this video, I'll be playing the legislator.
My name is Winnie, and I'll be playing the introducer.
My name is Elizabeth, and I'll be playing the storyteller.
My name is Bridget, and I'll be playing the asker.
And my name is Ellie, and I'll be playing the thinker and the note taker.
Okay, let's get into our meeting.
Representative Woods, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Winnie, and we're here to talk to you about the Girl Scouts bill, which is also known as House File 292. Our bill would make Girl Scouts more accessible so that all girls in Minnesota would have the opportunity to access the many benefits that Girl Scouts provides. With me today is my friend.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Bridget. I'm from Roosevelt.
Again, I'm Winnie, and I'm from St. Paul.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Ellie, I'm from St. Paul as well.
Hey there, Ellie. All right, well, it is so nice to meet all of you all. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
As I said, my name is Elizabeth, and I am one of this year's Young Women of Distinction. I joined Girl Scouts 12 years ago, and it has had a huge impact on me. 2 years ago, I was in a serious ski accident that resulted in a traumatic brain injury. Going to Girl Scout camp brought my loud voice back and allowed me to gain the confidence I needed to accept who I was. I love being a part of Girl Scouts, and I think it should be accessible to all girls. Making the Girl Scout experience accessible to all girls and helping them find their voices is the goal of the Girl Scouts bill that our organization has been working on since last year.
I mean, it sounds like Girl Scouts has had a really big impact on you, and that is great to hear. My niece is actually in Girl Scouts, and she loves it. And I love it because it means when there's cookie season, I get to support Girl Scouts and get cookies. But tell me more about this bill.
Of course, I'd love to. As Elizabeth just said, Girl Scouts currently has a bill to make Girl Scouts more accessible to girls who may not have access to programming by providing $1.4 million of funding for Girl Scouts outreach programming, such as the Connect program. The Connect program is a really fun and unique program that the Girl Scouts offer, which is aimed at bringing the awesome Girl Scout experience to all girls in the state of Minnesota. Unfortunately, our bill didn't pass last year, and we're currently in need of hearings in both the Senate and House Education and Finance committees in order to make it pass this year. I have a leaflet for you that gives you all the information you need to know and has contact info. Can we count on your support?
You guys have sold me. I am so excited. It sounds like this is a great bill that will help more girls have access to the wonderful benefits of being a Girl Scout.
Thank you. We're so happy to have your support for the bill. And on this handout we just gave you, you'll find the contact information. With any further questions, reach out to us, and that information will be on the bill. Can we possibly take a picture with you?
Oh my goodness, I would love to take a picture with you all as we wrap up here. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming to the Capitol and sharing your story with me. Without advocates like you all, I may not have even known that this bill was taking place and about the great impact that Girl Scouts have and continue to have on our community. Now, thank you, and let's take this picture.
We hope that was helpful. There are several resources that will be useful to you as you prepare and hold your meeting. They are all linked in the description below. The first is the Girls in Session resource that will walk you through holding your meeting with a troop. The second is an Advocate Champion resource, which will review the same information as Girls in Session, but this is more geared to adult advocates. The third is the Journey of the Bill document, which reviews the steps that our bill needs to take to become a law.
And the last is the Girl Scout Bill fact sheet that you'll want to print out and leave with your legislator. When you're done, please let us know how the meeting went by going to the Tell Us How It Went form on the Advocacy page on the River Valley's website. This form will help us track which legislators received meetings and if they need any additional follow-up. We also encourage you to share your experiences on social media and encourage others to become advocate champions too.
Thanks for joining us for this advocacy training. You now have all the tools you need to go out there and advocate for the Girl Scout Bill. We can't wait to hear about your successes. If you need any assistance as you go through this process or to share feedback, you can email us at advocacy@girlscoutsrv.org. Thanks. Go out there and advocate.